What's going on? Welcome back to another exciting episode of Attack Productions presents Time Wars. As today we are still in the Universal Tournament as Son Goku, Ultra Instinct, is taking on Kefla. Like always, just buttons down below. Feel free to click there for a reason. The question is, can Kefla prevail this time, or will she be knocked out of the arena once again by Son Goku? And today I'm being joined by Adam. What's going on, Adam?
Hey, just loving getting Time Wars back in. Seems to be a crowd favorite.
So this is a little bit my fault. So I before going further, I understand. Oh, because it's been a while. No secret rares are a thing in this. It's just straight up as much archetype you can for that said leader, corresponding to whatever event it may have been in the history of the show. But yeah, I know this Goku on the Awakened side is mastered form. I actually was looking at TB1, I think, or that Goku, because I think that Goku is regular Goku and then Ultra Instinct Sai on the backside. And as I'm building the deck, I'm like, oh, Adam's playing the new Kefla. Like, I need to balance this out a little bit more. Like, I need to have a little more of a fair match. And I wasn't aware you were playing this one. I'm like, I don't remember what she does.
Right.
This is the Surge Kefla. Yeah.
Yeah, it got not a reboot, but it got a revision with, I think it was the Mythic Booster maybe, or one of the older leader, once again, because it's me.
Yeah. Goku is a deck that mills itself and can potentially play cards that will neg cards on your opponent's board. The strategy is just kind of go wide if you can, neg out the board, and then if you have X amount of cards in your drop, I don't remember if they have to be Universe 7 or not, but it's Sparking 20, I think. You can bring a card back to your hand, which is kind of nice, helps you kind of get a future recovery. Surge Leader.
Yep. Yeah, my whole strategy is to play out Kefla's and Kale's combo with their evolve targets and be able to evolve things like double strikers and criticals on top.
Yeah, which is crazy because also the leader here, as we can see, just will play a 2-drop from your hand, which is amazing. Like, it's really strong. And here I'm like, what is this leader? Okay, I gotta read this again because it's been a while.
Mm-hmm. In the world of Surge leaders, she's not that great, but but I enjoyed bringing it out for this particular match. This is such an iconic match, and one of the great moments of the Tournament of Power when Goku just defies physics and beats up a girl. So,
I mean, he uses his energy that's already in a ball to do a 360.
Yeah, it's anime.
Yeah, exactly. Fun fact. So when I put the deck together, I was like, oh yeah, this Frieza is great. And I realized being this match, I'm like, oh, this Frieza doesn't work for this leader at all. I don't remember why it doesn't work, but I was like, okay, my bad. So I just start charging him instead. He is from Determined Power. I think he's the Universe 7 card, but there's something about his auto and how you play him. I just remember what it was, and it just didn't work out.
Yeah, I play that one in my Android 17 deck. I'll take a look at it and see why.
I think he pulls an extra card. I can't remember though. Or I might be thinking of the other Frieza, 4-drop Frieza instead. So here we're just double checking the cards in my drop, see if I can awaken, which you do need 7 Universe 7 Warriors in your drop to awaken. And at this point, once you awaken, you don't really need to mill cards anymore. The leader does have the ability to mill on the backside. And one of the great things about that was if you played the secret rare SSB Vegeta, I just don't remember which one it is. If you have Sparking 25, he gets like 2 attacks out.
Well, there's also that big 8-drop.
Yeah,
that's really good in this deck. You probably play it, but that one works really well with Son Gohan. This deck, because I think it needs a certain number of cards in its drop as well.
Yes. So we are awakening. We got Freeze on the board now, which is, if I recall correctly, he is a dual attack, and he negged out your Khalifa or Kel. It's Khalifa, yeah. And this is where I think there's a bit of a moment where we discuss something about order of operations. And this Kefla deck has the ability to, with certain super combos, I think it's KO a card. It's a super combo right here, actually.
Yeah, it's comboed after the battle.
Yeah. And so,
I think
unfortunately,
that's
Frieza's auto will go off first, which will keep him alive. We may move it for a fraction of a second, but we do put it right back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I think that was, is it because it's dual attack? We were trying to figure out what the trigger was on the dual attack. Or...
Yeah, it activates when the attack happens, but it resets at the end of battle. And your auto also happens at the end of battle as well, which means I take priority as the turn player. There was a weird cut. And I think we were asking, like, do you still want to rival Vados and Chomp on the board? And you said yes, because I forgot this deck needs that card.
Yeah, I didn't think that it did when I was building it. I was like, that's an old card. I don't really need it. But yeah, it reduces the combo cost by one, which is really important because the amount
Yes.
of blue-yellow cards I play.
I think here in the debating about playing the is it times 10 Kamehameha? Yeah, Mighty Blast. Just on the board, have it ready. I'm not there yet, but just nothing else to do, I think, this turn, so we just play it.
Which keys into me that I probably need to start charging,
Yeah.
Z charging things.
And it's one of those things where, like, the real secret to Explosive Dance is you attack with a battle card first. If you get Explosive Dance, you attack with the leader. If you don't get negate it, then you combo a card off to allow you to attack with another card. Like, there is ways around it. I understand that it's very annoying. And especially if you're being pressured on early game, like, having those cards already there is kind of nice. I think the card you have right now, I think that super combo was it 10K, I think?
Yeah, I think it's just a 10K.
Yeah. Here you pay one for this Khalifa, I think. Yeah. And she searches for a Universe 6 or a Unison, and I was very surprised when you grabbed Hit. I'm like, oh, you're going to try some funny stuff later. Okay.
Yeah, I'd really like to be able to play that Unison because it lets me draw more, which is fantastic.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. Maybe I didn't see it the first time. Maybe I saw another hit. Here you are choosing to swing into my Frieza. I mean, don't get me wrong, like, getting rid of the dual attack is always great. Here I combo up to 24 to get out the attack, and then this is where the fun stuff starts. I'm like, oh, yeah, this deck does this thing. Okay. And I can't remember if that's the crit one or the double strike one.
Yeah, Kale is crit and Khalifa is double strike.
Yeah. And
People don't like crit for some reason. They don't like to take those hits.
It's not the idea of not liking taking it, but it's the idea that you're not getting that resource though. And go straight to the drop instead.
Hurts twice.
And then here you go. You rest my energy like when this card's play, which is just crazy. And here I just got combo out. I don't want to take the double strike just yet because that was unexpectedly aggressive. And like at any moment, you could do the leader's ability to surge. I think it's draw 4. Do you resend energy on that leader?
No, I don't know.
Okay.
All I do is draw 4 cards. Yeah.
Gotcha. Speaking of surge leaders, I do miss surge leaders. I understand why it was like a blip in time, and ultimately they're not the greatest of leaders, but they're still fun. To kind of, if they would ever bring them back, it would be fun. I don't think we'll ever get them back though.
Yeah, it was a fun mechanic, but sitting across from somebody with Cell just felt bad.
Yeah, that's fair.
You think Zamasu's bad? Play against Cell Surge. That was not a fun time. Many a table was flipped.
So here we see the card I'm debating on. It's this SSB Vegeta. It's a promo from I think 2 sets ago. On play, it negs a card by 20, and I think for every time you attack with it also negs a card by 20. And if a card is KO'd by the negging effect of this card, it gains double strike, which is just really cool. So I mean, it attacks twice and possibly get rid of 3 cards.
Yeah, and all of those quote big cards that I have on the field are all 20K.
Yeah.
So It's this deck is definitely showing its age.
It's one of those things where I debated on playing it because I knew I'd tap out, but I was like, I'm at 6 life. Like, if I tap out, I might be good. I'll take the challenge. And I negged out the wrong one first. I'm like, oh, we'll just neg this one because or I negged out the wrong one twice. That's weird. Because Vados and Champa have an interesting mechanic where if they're removed from the board, you could discard a card, I think, instead, or it had to be I can't remember if it has to be a blue yellow card, but you can discard a card instead to keep it alive on the board. But with it being negative 0, it will never it can't exist, and it goes out by game mechanic at that point.
Right. Yeah. The phrasing on that is it remains in the battle on the battlefield instead.
Yeah.
And if it's constantly being negged, then it's gonna die. Might as well let it die.
Here I'm trying to attack into leader once more, get you down to that one beautiful life, and you do surge and combo out of it. But at this point, I don't know what to expect. Like, you're going to turn 3 or 3 energy. You were able to play Chompavados, not Chomp, yeah, Chompavados, which is by super combo 1 card. And like you had that, if you had that play again, my Vegeta's gone. You know, like you combo that card in the battle, it pops it, you arrival, and then from there you're set for this turn to go all into me because you see I charged a my token negate, and I also milled one. So like don't have many left options to negate. So like if you get strong cards on the board, it's kind of gonna suck. And you do end up paying 3 for play I was not expecting. You do remove the Vegeta regardless, but now you get this crit dual attack on the board.
Yeah.
Now what is Khalifa's or Kelfa's Surge's abilities on this awakened side?
Yeah, so one of them is draw 1 card, then choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and place it at the bottom of its owner's deck. The other one is at the beginning of your opponent's next main phase, choose up to 3 multicolor cards in your drop area and add them to your hand. So I can put all those super combos back in my hand.
Which is really nice, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And here we're going to turn 4. And you kind of hinted at earlier. You see that I charged one as well. So it's probably a good idea to think that I have one in my hand. And there are newer cards that have came out, I think, from one of the expansion sets that allows this Aatrox to be played for 1 less energy, which is really cool. It's kind of like, I do play them in the deck, but at this point, when I played the ZX card, I wasn't 100% sure what to expect. So I went with this route instead of the other route to make a cheap play down the road.
Yeah, I think that's another. I mean, if we did have a surge resurgence, for lack of a better term, um, the only having 2 underneath the leader, it really it puts you on a clock.
Yes.
And the fact that any normal leader you can use whatever the ability is on the awakened side, every single turn. I only get 2 turns to use that
Yeah.
effect.
So Aatrox is hitting the board here, and I think it will neg out your Vegeta on play, if I recall correctly. And here we're just double checking, make sure I have the equivalent cost to play this card, because I think you need X amount of Universe 7 cards, and I did have that, so.
Yeah, I think you had exactly
Yeah.
that.
Now this card is a dual attack, I think 25k double strike, so it's already in a good threat range for you. And we go for the first attack, and Dimension Magic takes a life, resends 2 energy, kind of puts you back in the board almost. I mean, you are in a tempting, like, high water situation where, like, a slip up will cost the game, And boom, another negate. Now, we don't get the effect on the 17, but it does help you kind of survive that big boy, and now you gotta go with the leader. Or I have to go with the leader now.
Yep. And unfortunately, by using that energy, I can no longer use my token negate.
Yep. If you had that, I wonder if it would have been better to, I mean, you would have been tapped out, but to play that instead, because I was tapped out, like, I couldn't do anything else.
Yeah.
And here, that's all as far as you could go. So that is today's game. Goku once again defies physics to take out Kefla. And yeah, thanks all for tuning in. Hope you all enjoyed. Until next time.